Uganda, gifted by nature, is entirely dependent on its natural endowment. The country has two types of climatic rains, conventional and tropical rainfall. However, there is registered change in weather patterns with unpredictable rain seasons that are changing over time in different parts of the country. In 2007, the eastern left of the area flooded, claiming lives and affecting the infrastructure as well as agriculture, which is dependent of the people. The floods were part of the indicators to confirm that effects of climate change is slowly hitting hard. This was largely as a result of human activity which has impacted on the environment. Uganda has lost 26% of its forest cover in 2 decades. The country's forest cover is receding at a rate of 2% annually, according to National Forestry Authority. Uganda's forest coverage is estimated at 24% of the land cover and is likely to decline with increasing population that relies on agriculture for survival, which may lead to further deforestation, forest degradation, and fuel wood scarcities.
If you look at our water bodies, Lake Victoria, and also you look at the rivers, you'll find that the level of these water bodies have been going down over a number of years. Now, of course, this is as a result of a number of problems, including global ones, including climate change, but others are related to destruction of the watersheds, destruction of trees, of vegetation on hills, and also mountains, and also destruction of wetlands, the riverbanks, and lake shores.
The floods in the region were preceded by mudslides around the Mount Elgon area in Bududa. The landslides, which were in the mountainous area, buried several people, destroyed agriculture plantations and the social infrastructure. Landslides were also registered in areas around Mount Rwenzori and in Kigezi, western Uganda. The latest challenge today is wetland degradation. With 13% of Uganda's total surface area covered by wetlands, the country is very rich in biodiversity. In spite of the existence of national policies and laws for the conservation of ecosystems, there has recently been an observed decline in aquatic biodiversity in most of Uganda's water bodies. This has mainly been attributed to destructive fishing habits, increasing chemical substances resulting from pollution, degradation of riparian watersheds, and deforestation. Biodiversity conservation around the Lake Victoria fragile wetlands, which serve as habitat to various flora and fauna, act as vital breeding centers for fish necessary for restocking Lake Victoria. Reduction in overfishing and illegal fishing methods which deplete Lake Victoria of fish needs attention for conservation of wetlands, which play an important role in water filtration. Wetlands along the international waters of Lake Victoria are rapidly being depleted. This has greatly affected the water treatment. The industrial sector is a source of pollution due to the discharge of untreated or partially treated industrial effluent into nearby water bodies. Pollution stemming from mining activities, on the other hand, from localized pollution, however, exists in the areas where mining activities take place. Population growth, increased urbanization and industrialization, uncontrolled environmental degradation and pollution are placing increasing pressure on the utilization of freshwater resources. An organization, Entebbe Women Association, EWA, is responding to this freshwater lake challenge using a multi-sector approach with financial support of the Global Environment Facility, United Nations Environmental Program, Small Grants Program, through the United Nations Development Program, Ministry of Energy, the World Bank, Department of Communities and Small-Scale Mining, Entebbe Municipality community members, and all our members, staff and volunteers, as well as Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. Established in 1995, Entebbe Women Association is a non-profit making organization working to preserve and protect the environment by empowering communities living on shores of Lake Victoria and beyond, its advancing social change and economic development in Uganda. Restoration of biodiversity is EWA's cardinal pillar. Work is already on at the abandoned sand mines being backfilled in the reclamation process for habitat restoration in Chigungu. Not only does this help the environment, but it also helps the communities from dangers associated with these mines. In a few years, it will be one of the beauty spots in Entebbe. There is an opportunity to green, protect, and afforest Misoli village.
When we planted the trees, some road ones came again. When you would plant the trees, they would come back and get the trees out and uproot them and again dig the sand, which was a challenge. We would come back and live again and sweet talk them, try to employ them during the planting so that they can understand and earn something, and then we planted. We had even fenced, but the people in this area took the fence off. All this area you see, the whole chunk was fenced off with barbed wire, and they stole the barbed wire, they stole the poles. All the poles, you can't see a pole now. Then another challenge when the trees started growing was grazing of cattle. They would graze the cattle in the young trees. So we lost a number of trees. And then some of them would tie the cows on ropes on the trees and they would pull the trees down. So it has been a big challenge. But somehow we continued the struggle. We would plant more and we have managed to raise the ones that you can see. If they start abusing us and spoiling our things and refusing to agree with us, how can we work with them?
Tuganye project every day. Nekati mukamange obenga kwengafu. Tetugenze ku bolo project etagena kujancha. Era uje tusanga Mr. DPC wano watu tutete.
But I think you young men, by whatever you do, but what you do will come to an end one day.
Yes, when she came in as somebody running in a project like this, which is good, community-based. Now these people were supposed to change from mining sand.
They don't want only
these people were flying here. The Chogom, or the president, prime ministers, they were saying, yeah, we landed at a place which was ravaged. And it was very ashaming. They were talking about this place.
Yes.
And this is the only place when you are flying.
Yes.
You see it ravaged completely.
I know some things.
And for us, we have no problem.
They're not
problem
as
we
they
have.
say.
We don't want them simmering here.
Sand mining is a very big challenge. It is supposed to be controlled at the local government level. We cannot say that we shouldn't mine sand. No, we need the sand. But I think the missing link is after the sand has been removed, restoring the area. So mining sand per se, if properly done, may not lead to degradation of the environment at the end of the day. You remove sand, then try to reclaim the area, plant the vegetation, and eventually the area will get restored. That's what is missing.
Waste management and disposal is another area that needs acute attention to avert chemicals that are hazardous. A waste bank in Mayanzi to minimize the impact of waste being produced has been constructed. On this island, communities are generating huge amounts of waste, which is a challenge to the environment. More than 240 people have been individually trained in solid waste sorting, management and disposal. 80 rubbish bins are being provided by EWA, while the community members make compost pits for biodegradable material.
We are advised that these cavelas, they can take almost 150 days to rot, and the other one takes about 100 years, the bottles. So we are advised at least, okay, to teach at least everybody in the community to separate these cavelas and the bottles. So in the future, at least we expect, at least if we can get some people can take this again to the cycling places, it will be better again.
We are using a spade for changing it to come up, and then the one which is unrotten, they goes down. I'm saying the one which are being putted up. So after then we put them, we change them with the using spade to beat down, and then the other one comes up.
The waters of Lake Victoria are being polluted by the human waste of the fishing communities. Effort is now directed to constructing ecological sanitation toilets at the Chigungu main and Misoli landing sites. These ecological sanitation toilets decompose human waste through the separation of urine and feces and the application of ash. The communities on this island has mastered and have started making manure from eco-sun technology, which improves soil productivity and can be sold for more income for these households. It was problematic to construct a toilet on this island, as the water table is so near, such that the local toilets would get filled with water and eventually discharged directly into the lake.
Toilet zaffe tubadde tuzimba nga tusima nsime, tusima toilet futi nga 3. Kati wano waliwo omusenyu nga bw'okola toilet enkuba kasita etonya eyanguwa mangu okugira okuweesala eno bw'etye, engeri gyeba nti obubi bwegatane omusulo kati aga amazzi galina engeri gye gayita eno mu nsonda toyine zanguwa okugwa. Kyekizibu kye tubadde tufuna, kati tubadde tufuna endwadde nga bumanyi okuddukana olw'obukyafu.
We are promoting toilets in this area of Chigungu because it's a sandy area. It's very difficult for them to dig pit latrines. If anyone has visited Chigungu, you'll see they have little toilets which are not deep. And therefore, they appreciate very much the ecological sanitation toilets because they can stay a longer period, they are able to use the manure, and they are not reaching the water table by digging pit latrines. So we think that this is an integrated program.
Another intervention being done is now on the construction of modern fish smoking kilns for promoting social and economic development while conserving the environment. The fish kilns are efficient and hence consume less firewood, thus resulting in less trees being cut down and produce less pollution.
We have introduced this fish kiln in this area of Kigungu near the Lake Victoria just to conserve the environment, because they used to use a lot of firewood, but now we have reduced on the use of firewood. And this protects the environment, especially cutting of trees around Lake Victoria.
The activities are geared at protecting biodiversity by reducing pollution. The reclamation of the sand mines has provided a new habitat for various plant and animal species. Desertification is being reduced through the reclamation of the sand mines of Chigungu. This is to reduce land degradation through tree planting, the use of less firewood resulting in reduced tree cutting for smoking fish. Environmental awareness is being stepped up, which will see climate change combated through the reduction of environmental degradation. Preserve the environment for a better tomorrow.
We believe it's the women that need more knowledge and more information, because they are the ones that utilize the wetlands, for example, to grow food. They are in fish smoking. Therefore, training the women to utilize fuel well, they are doing so well. They are controlling climate change.
Actually, if you look at the actions of women in matters of the environment, their actions are not degrading. Time immemorial. Time immemorial. Okay? It is us mainly the men, particularly when you look at the question of deforestation. Where are we going for commercial logging? Where are we going for cutting trees massively? Where are we going for degradation of wetlands, either for transforming them into farms by draining the channels, or whether we degrade them because we want to establish maybe industries. And if you look at all this, you will find that probably the world over, these may have been, or this may have been done by men mostly, not by women.